Browns getting closer to Sunday's game against the Giants, but we're going to start with someone who hopes this game will be a turnaround game for them, and that is Amari Cooper, Mary Kay. He spoke for the first time since that Jacksonville game. He actually left the locker room before we could talk to him after the game on Sunday, so we heard from Amari for the first time just about his thoughts on his connection with Deshaun Watson and some of his early season struggles.
He says he is humbled and motivated by the fact he's had such a slow start in these first two games. 5 of 17 targets for only 27 yards. These are some of the back-to-back worst games that he has had in his career, and he's definitely hoping to get it turned around. Now, how is he going to do that? He's going to practice like it's a game. He's going to get it back together, and he plans on being there for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, and Ashley, we have seen this connection at times work really well, especially on the deep ball, and Amari is this team's deep ball threat. They've been saved, of course, a little bit by Jerry Jeudy emerging and having a strong 2 games, but if this offense is going to reach its peak, it's going to have a lot to do with Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think it just needs to be more explosive in the pass game, and Amari is your best weapon to do that. Now, again, I think it helps maybe it'll help Amari get going that Jerry Jeudy and Deshaun Watson kind of have something going. Maybe teams will focus more on Jerry. Who knows? Because those two looked really nice together on Sunday in Jacksonville. But I definitely think if you want to see this offense fully formed, so much of it depends on Amari Cooper making Amari Cooper plays.
All right, now we're still monitoring Myles Garrett because he was not at practice today as he deals with that foot injury. So that's 2 days in a row that Myles did not practice. Friday is the big day. You want to see him back on the practice field on Friday. That would give us some confidence that he'll be able to go on Sunday. But for now, Mary Kay kind of playing the waiting game here with Myles.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty significant when we were out there today and he was not out there for the second straight day. Sometimes when you have a nagging injury like this, you'll get 1 day off, then you'll be back the next day. Again, he probably will be out there to a certain degree tomorrow. We think he will be on Friday leading into this Giants game. But if not, then they could be looking at Myles Garrett being either out or very part-time for this game.
Yeah, and Ashley, it's worth noting that we haven't even seen Myles Garrett. He hasn't walked out while we've been out there or anything. We haven't seen him in the locker room, or at least I haven't. So, we don't really know what he looks like, how he's walking, anything like that. We just don't have a good gauge on where Myles Garrett is right now.
Yeah, there's none of that even insight that we can glean just from what we see with our eyes with him and that foot. But I did ask Jim Schwartz today about those defensive line rotations because we know Myles still played the most of any D lineman snap-wise, but still not a ton of snaps for him usually. But Jim talked about today about using that 8 to 9 man rotation, and yes, Myles still went out there and made some plays. He got that big strip sack in the third quarter against Jacksonville, but I do think Friday, it is the day you want to see guys out here, especially when you haven't gotten to see them all week.
Okay, now there was some resolution to the Michael Hall situation, at least legally. He pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge, so a lesser charge than he was originally given. So he was found guilty on that. So legally, this case is resolved. But Mary Kay, obviously, we have to wait for what the NFL is going to do. And as we're recording this video here on Thursday, we don't know what the next steps are for the league.
I reached out to the NFL office after the resolution of this case in court, and Brian McCarthy, the NFL spokesman, told me no status in Mike Hall's case right now. He's still on the commissioner's exempt list. It means he's still getting paid. He can't go to practice, can't go to games. They are still monitoring the situation very closely.
Yeah, so of course the play here could be the NFL just takes him off the list and he's back on the field, or actually there could be a suspension to go along with, again, the legal resolution of this case. Right now it's just a holding pattern.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's all about what the league decides. And the important thing to note, I think, we've talked about this before, that in order to issue a suspension, a player doesn't even have to be charged with anything criminally, right? It's the NFL's decision, which there's totally, or not totally necessarily, but there's just different standards than a burden of proof in a court of law. So definitely not finished yet, but at least for now, finished on the legal side.
Okay, we'll have full coverage of everything that happened here today. And of course, we've got preview videos, preview podcasts, lots of content coming your way, getting you ready for Giants Week, all at cleveland.com/Browns.